Hi Scrubs, hope you're well. So I'm going to be talking about the changes to breeding unicorns that's taken place on Howrse. So this came in on the 3rd of May. Now, I had sort of heard about this beforehand and I was a bit skeptical about it. I didn't know if it was going to be a good change or not. And thankfully a little bit more information finally filtered out, and finally it's actually released to the game now so we can actually take a proper look at it. So, unicorn breeders, we're making your life easier. You no longer need to wait 12 hours between two sessions, or wait 30 days to be able to change the selected covering time. The 12-hour waits and fixed time restraints are gone. Unicorn breeding is much easier for you. For your unicorn covering, you now have 2 sessions of 60 seconds per day, from one daily update to the next, and you can choose when to activate them yourself. This means that it's totally flexible, as your unicorn hours adapt to your own timetable, and you can take place at every day at different times. So it used to be, obviously, if you bred unicorns in the past, you selected a time in your account settings, and that was a fixed time, okay? So if you selected 6 o'clock, okay, you could cover your unicorns at 6 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the evening. So you could cover them twice within that day, but it had to be 1 minute, that 1 minute that was there. So at 6 o'clock you had 1 minute to cover, and then at 6 o'clock in the evening you had 1 minute to cover. So it could be quite hectic, because sometimes it was very easy, I know it was for me as well, it was very easy to forget, and it was a nightmare. And then people started doing the time zone things, which did work, but it was a hassle to do as well. So they've changed it now that it's totally flexible, so you don't have a set time. You can come on and cover whenever you want, as long as you are only using 2 sessions, and those sessions are 60 seconds, so you're still getting the same amount of time to do it. To do this, you go to the page of the unicorn you want to cover, get ready for the covering by choosing a male and any potential black market items you want to use. The moment you confirm the covering, a covering session begins. The counter starts and you have 60 seconds to perform all the coverings you want. So I am going to demonstrate this shortly. And then if no session is available, the button for confirming the covering is grayed out, and you're told how much time you need to wait before you can begin the next session. So obviously, if you've used all your sessions for the day, then you can't cover again. So tips. To avoid triggering covering sessions with the wrong conditions, it is no longer possible for your unicorn to be bred with another unicorn from a different breed or horse. This is probably one of the downsides I say this, because it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's dumbing down the game a little bit, but it's kind of making it that if you wanted to breed a unicorn with a regular horse, you can't do it. I can see kind of why they've done it, why it maybe has benefits, like in certain cases where maybe a breed is actually much higher in unicorns. Maybe that's why they don't want that. I mean, maybe if you've got like a really good unicorn team and people are taking unicorn coverings, maybe that's why. But I kind of don't know. I kind of feel like that's, in a way, it's kind of annoying, because there has been occasions where I've gone into the coverings for, let's say, just rare breeds, and maybe there is unicorn coverings, but there's not regular horse coverings. That could be an issue there, possibly. I suppose we're going to see, aren't we? We'll test that out as well, actually, while we're here. So, to be able to cover a unicorn, you must always wait at least 10 hours in real life after their birth or their last covering. Therefore, you want to space out your covering sessions. Okay, so that remains the same. So if you cover, let's say, unicorn mare A, you're gonna have to wait another 10 hours before you can cover again. So, you know, you can't cover her, then, you know, quickly look after her and then try and cover her again. So that stops people doing that. Kind of surprised by that, actually, because I would have thought they would have actually let you cover anytime you wanted, as long as it was only twice in the day. That sort of surprises me a little bit. The way Howrse's gifts works remains the same. This item will still enable you to breed a unicorn, no matter what time the covering took place, and it doesn't trigger a unicorn covering session. Okay, so using the Howrse isn't going to cause any negative effects. It's the same as it was. The way Quillian works will stay the same, where he can always breed with all your female unicorns according to the same conditions that apply for coverings between 2 unicorns of the same breed during a breeding session. And then for VIP accounts, the selectable perk change your unicorn's covering time every 15 days instead of 30 has been removed. So that is completely gone if you had that as a VIP perk in the past. So we're going to do 2 things. We're going to cover a unicorn mare with the new session, and we're also going to try and cover a non-unicorn with a unicorn, just to see if it works both ways, or if it only works the other way around. That's what I want to find out. So I am going to find, I think this mare hasn't, yeah, I can cover this mare. So this is a female mare, and I'm going to go specifically looking to see if yeah, I don't actually think that I can use a unicorn, because I don't seem to be able to select species over here. That's a little bit annoying, I'm going to be real honest. Or can I? No, it's grayed out. They're all grayed out. Why can't I click any of these? Oh, okay, so it's automatically doing that, right? So I can use a riding horse with this, I can use a pony with this, and I can use a Pegasus, but I can't breed the draft horses, which is fair enough. Can't breed donkeys, that's fair enough. But the unicorns are totally gone now. I suppose it does stop people using unicorn coverings that really are intended for other unicorns, but there has been occasions where I've had a unicorn of a rare breed that I've wanted to then cover onto rare breeds that I don't have a stallion for in regular ones, so that's kind of annoying. And I feel like it's done to stop people accidentally using unicorn coverings to a degree. I don't really think it was that much of a problem, not for me anyway. It would be nice if you could actually go in and change that if you wanted to, like in your own settings, I don't know. At least if it was your own unicorns, for example. I wanted to cover mine with that. So we're gonna now try this. I'm gonna see if I go into one of my unicorn stallions and see what it limits me to covering. So, right, I'm just gonna go for one of these. So I want a male, and we're just gonna click on this one, and I'm also gonna look for a female that hasn't been covered as well. Right, let's go to him. So if we go to cover a mare, yeah, it limits me quite a lot by what mares I can cover. That is kind of irritating. I don't really like that, if I'm completely honest. So I'm just going to read this completely again, so I totally am 100% sure on this. To be able to cover a unicorn, you must wait at least 10 hours. No, that's not the one we're looking for. To avoid triggering covering sessions the wrong conditions, so it is no longer possible for your unicorn to breed with another unicorn from a different breed or a horse. Okay, so that's basically them making sure that you don't accidentally trigger unicorn breeding doing that, which, yes, I kind of understand, but I feel like if I wanted to use one of my unicorn stallions, then that shouldn't be an issue, because I'm not actually covering a mare, or maybe it does work both ways, I really don't know. I mean, let's just see. I can send a covering, you know, that's not going to trigger anything, it hasn't, because a warning message would have come up if it did. So, that respect, I think it's a little bit silly. That I can't, you know, do that if I want. It's a little bit constricting. It's not really a big deal, it's just something I'm going to point out because we can point it out, basically. So the next thing is we're actually going to go and cover some unicorn mares. So I've got some here that have not. I have a lot of unicorn mares that need a lot done with them. I'm going to go to some of the ones that I've actually put in ECs already. I do actually have some in foal as well. So one of my worries originally was that it would automatically trigger when you clicked cover my mare. That was the one thing I kind of was not particularly impressed with, because I just thought, well, that's going to be a serious pain if that's the case. I wonder if any of these actually ready to cover that I just haven't gotten an EC, maybe. Actually, let's go and have a look at one of these. I'm pretty sure I haven't covered all of these. Right, we're gonna use this one for this demonstration. I'm not gonna try and cover a whole bunch of them just because. Well, I'll show you how you could prep them. It's the same way as you would have prepped them before, really. So I will do that actually for the purposes of just showing you that you can still do the multi unicorn covering thing that you used to be able to do. That I have in another video. So like breeding multiple unicorns and covering them all. So this is basically, you know, getting the mare prepped, right? So I have that one prepped, and I'm going to prep another one. Right. I don't know if I have any of the other ones. Let me just check. No, I'm going to go to the ones I know that I'm pretty sure I can actually cover at the minute. Okay, unicorns. Not in full. Right, okay, I have a couple down here that I know are in things. I just can't remember if I covered these or not. Some of them I did cover the other day. Right. See, it's telling me down there, unicorn covering sessions available, 2 out of 2, so I still have those. Not going to cover that one. We'll be here all day trying to do that. Right, I'm just going to use 2 to demonstrate, but you could do this with a lot more, and I have done in the past. I think, like, usually the most I get covered in a minute is around about 20 or so. I don't usually get any more than that covered, unless I have, like, internet that's being well behaved, because sometimes that's the one issue that I sometimes have had in the past, is like whenever the internet just starts to freeze and you have all these tabs of unicorns open and you can't click them because everything freezes. Right, so basically what I would do is have them open in different tabs and ready to go, basically. So ready to cover, so we'll go in and click cover. So have them aged up to when they're ready to actually cover. So we will click cover my mare, and it'll bring us up to this, and then we can select one to choose. Okay, there's not very many there to pick from. So this is the point where you don't want to click anything until you're totally and utterly ready to cover. Now I'm going to go back and actually use one of my own stallions for this, so I'm just going to look for one of my male stallions here, and I'm going to use this one. Right. Observed one of my mares. What was her name? Her name was Through a Glass. Okay. I'm going to send her that covering. Okay. So, I'll just refresh this. Actually, no, hold on. We'll go back. There we go. Right, so this will bring this open to basically use now. So, once you have all of your mares ready to cover, that you can go on and then go and select the stallion, and you have all your tabs open, then click cover my mare. This is when to do it. And this will come up. Click that as quickly as possible, because even if you don't click OK, it's still actually counting down. That's the thing to note as well. So I've just covered both of those. If I go to one of my other ones, I don't know if any of them. Let's see if we can age one in time to cover another one. Probably not, but we'll see. Right, I'm just going to quickly age it instead of caring for it. And because one of the things I noticed the other day was you only had so long to do this. Right, click on this one. You can see that we only have 27 seconds left, and click cover. Okay, now I'm going to wait until that timer just goes out. Like if I was doing a lot of them, I would have, you know, maybe 20 open a tab, or however many you need to go through and click on. But that's the one thing to note. When that pop-up comes up, your time has started, okay? Because I tested it, I think the first day it came out. When it popped up, I thought, oh, maybe when I click OK on the pop-up, then it'll start. But no, it had already started from the moment I clicked cover my mare. So that's the one thing to note. Just don't think that the notification is giving you more time. It's not. So click that notification as quickly as you can whenever you start. It kind of annoys me that notification even comes up, but I guess they have to put it there. Okay, so here is a female who can be covered. So if I click cover, you know, I can go in and then immediately go and cover another one, but it's telling me then that I only have one session left. So if I clicked this and didn't cover anything else, that would be my 2 sessions for the day gone. So we'll just quickly go and age the ones that we cover just to see if we get any actual foal. Probably not, because I know what my luck is like with unicorn breeding. So I think in a sense it is more flexible. I don't really particularly like the fact that it means I can't use unicorn stallions to cover my own mares of whatever type. That is slightly irritating. I would understand maybe why they do it for public coverings, because it can be quite annoying if you put up covers and people use unicorn coverings on horses that aren't unicorns. I can see how that would annoy some people, and maybe it's just to stop people doing that. But you know, there was times where you didn't really have an option in certain breeds where there just wasn't that particular type. So let's see. No unicorn photos, so we got a fail. So that's the norm with unicorn breeding, isn't it? So it does stop people covering in the wrong conditions. I suppose that's also a benefit, really, of it. But that's just generally my thoughts on it and testing it out and seeing what it does. So I hope you have a lovely day, Scrubs, and bye-bye!